So being in the field for over 10 years myself, I know that proper preparation prevents piss poor production. I mean, you constantly have to have everything at your fingertips. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna go out to my car right now, grab my little milk crate. Matter of fact, let's go right now, and you'll see. Now, depending on how many things are inside of your milk crate is gonna be dependent on how heavy it is to take it out and put it back in, okay? Okay, so we're back in my office, and primarily the reason why I wanted to share with my agents what to have inside of their trunk or at all times with them is because of those 7 P's that I talked about in the beginning of the video here. So let me just illustrate some of the things that I have in my trunk, but this is not limited to what you could have inside of your trunk. Some people have like toothpaste and toothbrush. I would completely agree with that. Some people have their cologne going on. Don't spray too much, please. But let me just throw some things out there. Number one, I normally have a permanent illustration of a client. So as you can see, this is a client of mine that I'm already going to be illustrating. So I have these little cutesy graphs in here, and it's going to share with them different options inside of their permanent plan. It's going to share with them the cash value inside of the plan, etc. I also have some brochures, so I have a credibility piece inside of the illustration. Another thing that I have is a copy of my to-call list. So every day I create a copy for 15 minutes a day. I create a busy copy of what I'm going to be doing the next day. So you should be making a copy of it. If you're in the office making phone calls and then you got to do an appointment, you might make some calls in the evening time while you're on the road and pulled over. Another thing is a term illustration. Obviously, you want to have that for a potential client. Because lots of clients are very visual, you want to make sure that you have an example to show them in the field. Another thing is I have an annuity illustration. So something that illustrates, just in case they blurt out, hey, I have 100 grand laying around in my 401k. I have an illustration ready to go when they need a hypothetical on what they could look forward to. I have a couple books, tax-free retirement. So if I have an hour to kill, I'll pop open a book. I'll go to a Starbucks. You know, I always want to be sharpening my saw. And of course, you got to have some applications ready to go. So if they're ready to go, they're ready to rock and roll, and you don't have any Wi-Fi or you do e-app, you always want to have some hard copy applications so that you can take their feelings on paper, so to say. I got illustration stuff. I got brochures in here, so it'll show like the historical performance of what a product actually did, and you can get that on any company website. I also have different colored pens. This is super important, along with a blank piece of paper you should have inside of the appointment. So sometimes I'll use the back of the illustration, but you should have something to write with and write on. You may ask the client in the beginning of the presentation, would you mind terribly if I take some notes while we're speaking together? They love that stuff. When you're taking notes, it's something hidden that they go, man, this guy or gal has their act together with what they're doing. What else do I have in here? Credibility piece is super important. I already touched upon that. And also an F&A, financial needs analysis. This is important just in case you get flustered. If you take their information down, which is right here inside of the folder, it'll be very easy to bring it back to the office, your notes, bring it back to the office and speak on the appointment with me. When all else fails, you let them know, hey, I'd love to get your question answered, but if I don't have the answer right now, let me get to you within 24 hours. That creates more trust with them. You don't want to lie to them at all, and you want to make sure that you're doing good business. And then business cards, of course, you want to have with you and accessible to you. Oh, and then who knows, you might be in the area when you want to drop a policy to a potential or to one of your already clients. So if I have an appointment in Covina and my client who I wrote up last week is in City of Industry 10 minutes away, now I can kill two birds with one stone since I have the policy ready to deliver. I'm a nut. I like chess. So if you guys, anyone want to rock and roll in some chess, I'm always ready. So those are just some of the things. I got a beanie when it gets cold. I mean, these are just some of the things that you should have out in the field, accessible to you and ready to go. Like I said, you don't necessarily need to have all of these things, but whatever you feel most comfortable on, these are just some of the things that I have inside of my trunk. Hope that helped you out.